As soon as our cleaner entered our unit, I said, could you please smell the fridge? She said, smell fishy? Something fishy? Uh-uh. I had been trying to get rid of the fish smell in my fridge for a couple of days, and I could not. I lemoned it, I disinfected it, I washed the affected areas, which consisted of a large part of my fridge, given that there were 5 fish thawing in there. And of course, even though on paper towels their juices had leaked into my vegetable and fruit compartment, and I also had 20 ears of corn in that fridge. I told her, I said, you sure? No, I would know. I said to her, oh, you can't believe how frantic I was. I was fretting over she said, Claire, you could have called me. I used to work on a slime line. I work on my slim now, but on the slime line. I figured, okay, that must have something to do with slimy fish. And she said, yeah, I used to gut fish, cut the fish, take off the fins, that's pretty gross, but growths also. I said, okay. I said, I cut my finger on corn on the cob this week. She said, I didn't tell her it was the first one, on my very first corn on the cob. Whatever. This week, apart from frantically cleaning that fishy fridge, I got a call from my swim buddy, Elle, who said, come for a swim with me to the river. I said, well, I can't because I've got this open wound. And she said, I got something for you. Come, you'll see. So we get down to the beach, and I've got my swimsuit on, normal. And then she says, sit down, show you. So she takes off this. Can you see? This thing. And I look at it and I said, she must be joking. This is a condom. What the hell? She says to me, have you never seen a condom in your life? Or have you forgotten? I don't answer that one. In any case, she says, kindly, stick out your finger. I will do it for you, with a tiny air of superiority. Makes sense. So here she goes, and she does this to me. Oof. That's the finger, all right. And she gently unrolls it. And then she tapes it. I said, what? Would something be leaking from there? So I said, well, whatever. I don't ask because I have my pride. Today, I had one errand to run. It was a mission which I accepted, and it was to go and buy more of these creatures, the condoms, if you like. So I thought, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to ask our cleaner, S, since she's a pro in that area. I said, how did you call these things when you were working at the canning company? I said, condoms, with the most natural way of saying it, condoms. Fish condoms. Okay. We had big boxes. I said, okay, TMI. All right. But I didn't want to go to a store and say, may I have some finger condoms. That doesn't make sense. I have my pride, as I said. So I Googled it, and then I see it. What it turns out to be is, the first thing I read is digital penetration. I said, that can't be right. digital penetration. Okay, so I check in on the French, and the French translates it as numerical penetration, like understanding algorithms. No, it's because in French, digit only means finger. So I check again and I'm into fingering. And if you think fingering means mastering piano fingering, bzz, you're wrong. It has everything to do with intimate play, euphemistically said. Intimate play, either like solo mio or partnered up. I was relieved to finally find the term. So as I was going to the pharmacy to buy them, I kept on practicing. Please, where can I find the COTS for cuts? COTS for cuts, cuts for COTS, COTS for cuts. But I didn't want to ask because I thought I might fumble in my words, cuts, COTS, fish, finger. So I waltzed through the aisles, the likely aisles, such as family planning, wrong. Personal care, cleaning supplies, first aid, until I find the COTS for cuts. COTS like army cot, and cuts like cold cuts in the sports injury aisle, in support and bracing, not embracing, and bracing. There they were, the rubbers, or as we say in French, the capote, little hat. And then I look at, and I say, oh no, there were sizes. Oh, I hadn't measured the girth of my fingers, so I fiddled around and I said, oh, I think that's a medium. I'm a medium, so that's a medium. And, and all of a sudden, a loudspeaker blared out my vanity license plate, which ends in 007. Okay, 007. And so I just dashed outside I know my car sometimes tilts, thinks there's an earthquake or I don't know what, to stop the alarm. I stopped the alarm, and yet there's still an alarm. I go to my car, so this is none of my business, I've settled my business. And then somebody taps me over the shoulder and says to me, you have to pay for these condoms, lady.